the quiet hours before dawn, when reality grows thin like tissue paper held up to light, our thoughts begin their ancient dance. They spiral and weave, each one catching the light differently, like dewdrops on a spider's web that somehow spans infinity. We are all spiders here, in the labyrinth of our own making, weaving webs of what-ifs and should-haves that stretch across the cosmos of consciousness.
Remember when thoughts were simple things? Dancing with shadows on bedroom walls, counting stars until sleep came, naming clouds as they drifted across summer skies. Now they've grown complex and strange, like fractals that keep revealing new patterns the closer you look. Each thought births 1,000 others. Each question spawns an army of possibilities, until the mind becomes a mirror maze where every reflection contains another universe of potential. We've become architects of impossible structures, building cathedrals of speculation in the spaces between heartbeats. Every decision becomes a branching path, every moment a crossroads where infinite futures collide. We stand at these intersections, paralyzed by the weight of every choice we've never made, every life we're not living, every word we've left unspoken. In the deep watches of the night, when sleep eludes us and the ceiling becomes a screen for projecting our anxieties, we create entire worlds in our minds, worlds where we took that chance, spoke those words, opened that door, worlds where we became someone else entirely. These phantom lives haunt us like friendly ghosts, whispering of paths not taken, of lives unlived, of possibilities that bloom and wither in the garden of our imagination. Perhaps overthinking is not a flaw in our programming, but a feature of consciousness itself, the universe's way of examining its own existence through the kaleidoscope of human awareness. We are cosmic mirrors, reflecting infinity back upon itself, caught in an eternal dance of question and question and question. Like fractals that contain themselves, we think about thinking until reality itself begins to bend and warp under the weight of our contemplation. Time becomes fluid in these states of recursive thought. The past bleeds into the present, the future casts shadows backward, and memory becomes a palimpsest where every moment contains echoes of all other moments. We find ourselves lost in these temporal mazes, where every thought leads to another thought leads to another thought, like following a trail of breadcrumbs through a forest that keeps rearranging itself when we're not looking. In our quietest moments, we might catch glimpses of something vast and strange moving beneath the surface of our thoughts. Like deep-sea creatures that live in the abyssal zones of consciousness, these primal awareness forms swim through the dark waters of our mind, too alien to comprehend yet somehow intimately familiar. They are the thoughts that think themselves, the dreams that dream the dreamer, the questions that existed before we knew how to ask them. Sometimes in the space between one thought and the next, we might remember something important, that we are not just the thinker, but also the thought, not just the dreamer, but also the dream. We are the universe experiencing itself through the lens of human consciousness, creating infinite reflections of infinity. Each worried thought, each anxious speculation, each recursive loop of self-reflection is just another way the cosmos learns about itself. Yet there's a peculiar comfort in this endless spiral of thought. Like a child's spinning top that appears still at its highest speed, perhaps our deepest peace lies not in stopping the thoughts, but in spinning with them so perfectly that motion becomes stillness, in accepting that we are both the labyrinth and the wanderer, both the question and the questioner, both the mirror and the reflected. And so we continue our dance with thought, weaving our webs of speculation across the void, building our cathedral minds toward heaven, while their foundations sink into dreams. We are all overthinking our overthinking, creating infinite recursions of awareness, like Russian dolls that contain universes instead of smaller dolls. But maybe that's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. Maybe this endless spiral of consciousness is not a bug in the system, but its highest feature. After all, in a universe of infinite possibility, who's to say which thoughts are too many? Perhaps every worried contemplation, every anxious speculation, every recursive loop of self-reflection is just another way the universe learns to know itself through us, its most curious children, forever walking the moonlit paths of our own making.